Ladies and gentlemen and programmers, we're going to do CodeAcademy Part 5 for Java. We're going to learn some methods. All right, we're going to do Part 1. All right, make sure that you read the stuff and you write down an intelligent question and be prepared when we do the live lesson to ask that question. All right, so read this stuff right here. Read, 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 read until you get down to the instructions and write down an intelligent question. Be prepared again to ask that. Okay, so look at how that's a wonky. Oh well, that'll work. This is stretched out a little bit more than I thought it had. All right, so in the last lesson, we created an instance of the store class in the main method. We learned that objects have state and behavior. Okay, so we have state over here, we have behavior over here. So this is supposed to be all the things that your store or your car can do. It's all the methods or behaviors. These are the fields or states. We in the middle, here's all the characteristics of your store or your car. We call those the instance variables. Okay, write this down in your notes. A method definition teaches your object to do something new. So we're going to be talking about these methods, and we're going to teach our car and our store to do something new. A field or a state is all, let's just say all, the instance variables of an object. Okay, so just say that out loud. A field or state is all the instance variables of an object. Say that out loud and you won't have to write it down. Promise me. Okay, all right, so what if it took 20 lines of code to make a sandwich? Our program would become very long. Don't think about that. All right, think about the game of Black Ops or whatever. So think about all the lines of code that go into Black Ops. And if you put all that stuff, just one thing after the other thing, after the other thing, and just, it'd be huge. It'd be super ginormous, and it'd be unmanageable. You'd be impossible to write. It'd be like, when you go to fix bugs or try to make changes, your boss is, this is good, but we need to change this. And you try to go find that spot in the code. It would be impossible. You couldn't do it. Okay. And I want you to write this down. Methods are powerful because they allow us to create blocks of code that are repeatable and modular. Okay. Methods, say that out loud. Methods are powerful because they allow us to create blocks of code that are repeatable and modular. Basically, what I'm getting at is that we can use methods to fix this problem I just talked about. If we're programming Black Ops and it's getting so huge and so long and we can't understand our code anymore, we can break it down into these method blocks that we can reuse and so on and so forth, and it makes it a lot easier. So let's jump back. Let's jump back to our CodeAcademy here. Where is CodeAcademy? Oh, what was I looking at? I was looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So if you look in the same way, if you look at this code that they wrote, this is sample code. It's like, here's the class header. Here's the instance variable declarations. Here is the constructor, right? Okay, but let's take a look at this. So we have public static void main string args. We have our main method here. So look at this. Savings account, savings equals new savings account. We're creating a new savings account. So check the balance. Hello, your balance is this. Withdrawing money. You check the balance. You're depositing money, and then you check the balance. And then you deposit money, and then you check the balance. Okay, so this code is getting already this doesn't really do very much at all. It's already getting pretty long. Okay, so let's jump back to our. But anyway, so this is so far we have one method, and it's called the main method, and it's getting pretty darn long. Let's jump back to our spiel. Okay, so look at the main method. It's so long. There's so much repeated code. Could you imagine how messy it would look if you needed to make 10 deposits? Okay, so you can see if somebody had to make 10 deposits, the code would just keep getting longer and longer and longer and longer. Make a deposit, make a deposit, make a deposit. Show what the new balance is. Show what the new balance is. It gets super long. Okay, just like we talked about with the code in Black Ops. Okay, so look at that. What code in there is redundant? And then how could you fix this? Okay, so let's jump back in here. What code over here is super redundant? Check the balance. Okay, so it looks, so check the balance, do a withdrawal, check the balance, do a deposit, check the balance, do a deposit, check the balance. Okay, so we know that the part that getting super redundant is checking the balance, and then they did how many deposits? Two deposits, right? So a lot of this code is just they're doing the same code over and over again, right? So it doesn't make sense. So the quiz question is, if you're I've never told you the answer to this, but if you're smart, you'll figure out the answer to this. How could you fix this? What's the name of this unit? Method. So we could fix this by adding a bunch of methods to it and make the code way easier to read. It'd make it easier to manage. It'd make it, everything's better if we use methods to break this code up. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to part 2, but first we have to finish part 1. So let's go ahead and finish part 1. All we have to do with part 1 is run it, and it'll do all this. So there's no code for us to write. It was just wanting us to look at this super long main method that was getting unmanageable. All right, so let's go to the next thing. All right, same as always, I want you to read this stuff over here. Read, 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 read. Okay, and then when we get to these, this my dog is wanting some love. Okay, so you've read that. You're ready to go on. That's enough. Back off. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing here. Okay, so so read the thing. Write down any questions. We already know this. All right. So check this out. So if you look over in the example, it says public void start engine. So they're saying, hey, we're going to create a new behavior for our car. So we're doing our sample car thing again. And so the name of it is start the engine. So here's how you create a method. You say public or private, and then it's either void or int or whatever. In this case, it's void because it's a what? Command. So public void start image. We're giving it a command to start the image, and then we're going to say start the car and then vroom. Okay. And so we start, our method starts with a curly brace and ends with a curly brace. Okay. So this is the method signature saying, hey, we're starting a new method. We're teaching you how to do something new. Okay. Write this down. The method signature gives the program some information about the method. It gives it the name, start engine, if it's command or question, void, and if it's public or private. Okay, so public means, write this down. You notice public means that other classes can access this method. So everybody can get to it. It's public. All right. Void keyword means that there's no specific output from the method. So it's not a question where it answers it. It is a command. Void means it's a command, not a question. Write that down. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this thing again, and then we'll complete the exercise. Okay. So again, here we go. So this is what is the start engine method is going to output over here if we were to actually do it. Start the car and say vroom. All right. Here's kind of some of the stuff we just talked about. Okay, a check balance method. We're going to create a check balance method for our savings account. We talked about it earlier. It's going to look something like this: public void check balance. Hello, your balance is. Okay, so this is the example that we're going to do for our checkbook. All right, so in between here, so now we're actually going to do something for our store. So we're actually going to create a method. We're going to teach it a new behavior. All right, in between the constructor and the main method, add a method called Advertise to the store class. Okay, so right here here's the class header. We're starting our store class. Here is our constructor. We're teaching it how to build it. And we start and end the constructor. And then right here, we're going to create a new method. So here's our main method down here. Okay, so we're going to create our own second method. All right, so we're going to say, it says it should be accessible by all the other classes. So it's public and it should have no output. It's a command, so it's void. So we're going to say public void. And then the name of the method is Advertise. And then we have our parameters, which are empty, and then we open and close it with our curly braces like that. Okay, and so it's not going to really do anything very much yet. So we're going to go ahead and hit run, and nothing's going to happen. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and say inside the advertise method, type 2 printed statements. They should result in the printouts. Come spend some money. Selling, and then product type. But we're not going to actually type product type. So let's go where do we go? Okay, we're going to go right inside our curly braces, and we're going to say public static. No. That's going to be no, what am I doing? What am I? I'm going crazy here. System dot out dot print line, and then we're going to do our parentheses, and inside the parentheses we're going to put come spend some money. Okay, and then we're going to do a semicolon at the end, and then we're going to do another line. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing, Control C, hit Enter, Control V, so system.out, and we're going to say selling product type. Okay, so we're going to change this to selling, and we're just going to do a space and a quotation mark there. Okay, and then we're going to put that exclamation point in. Okay, and so what we want to put here is the actual, this variable. So I'm going to copy that and paste that variable there. So we're going to say selling, and then whatever the product type is, it's going to put, okay, selling. Anyway, so that should be it. So let's run it and see if it likes that. Oh, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong. System.out.println. Okay, let's see. Let's delete this and see if. Okay, it doesn't get any. I don't get any errors, but I didn't get it right. Okay, so nothing wrong with that. So let's try this again. So let's just do the system.out.println. Somehow I didn't like something in there. Okay, system.out.println. Okay, I'm going to do my parentheses. I'm going to say come. I'm going to say selling. Or no, actually, I'm going to just do it this way. I'm going to do the quotation marks. I'm going to do selling and the space. Oh, you know what I think I forgot is a plus. Did I forget to put the plus in? And so we say plus the, I think I did, plus the product type. Plus the product type. And then we have to say plus, and then we're going to put in quotation marks our exclamation point. Okay. And then at the end, we put our semicolon. All right, let's try that. Let's run that. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so we have this new method here. It's called Advertise, right? And we're asking it, or pardon me, we're teaching it how to print some stuff out, but there's nothing happen here. And it's all happy. It's like, oh, you're done. All right, what's going on? So let's kind of break this down a little bit. All right, so we completed the exercise. All right, so we just taught the store class how to advertise. Why did it not print the lines we wrote in the code? Okay, so with your write down your best idea, and I want, when we are live, I want to ask you about it. So why did it not print the lines we just wrote down? Okay, so a method definition teaches your object to do something new, and a method call asks the object to run the method. It asks it to do something. So why did it not do it? Because we taught it how to do something new, but we never asked it to yet. So I'm guessing, I don't look ahead, but I'm guessing in the next lesson we're actually going to ask it to. So let's take a peek at this. So we taught it how to advertise, and it's going to print these things. We just never asked it to. Okay. All right. That's it for parts 1 and 2.